Good day and welcome to my channel once again. Today our focus is on sight singing, the introductory part of it. Now, for you to understand this class, you should know what a staff is, what clefs are. You should know the letter names of the lines and spaces of the staff, both the treble staff, the bass staff, and of course the great stave. You should also have the knowledge of the different notes and their time duration. Also, you should know what time signature is, different types of time signature and their implication, and key signature as well. All these put together will help you to be able to sight sing. Now, sight singing means interpreting a piece of music by singing directly from the staff piece. And when singing, you sing using the monosyllabic singable tones, which are known as tonic solfa notes. Now, looking at this staff, we can see that it has a treble clef on it. This treble clef makes this staff a treble staff, and that makes the lines to be E, G, B, D, F. Every good boy deserves favor. And then the spaces F, A, C, E, spelling the word face. Now, there are no sharps or flats at the beginning, which makes it a staff in the key of C major. So whatever notes I place here now will be the notes of the scale of C major. Now, since the key is the key of C major, what happens is that our tonic, Do, has to be on C. Anywhere on this staff that carries the name C becomes the tonic. Now, the tonic is the first degree of the scale. In this case, the scale of C major. And the scale of C major begins from C. So we begin our notes, Do, which is the tonic, from C. Now, the third space of the treble staff is C. Below the treble staff, we also have another C, which is the middle C, which occupies the leisure line below the treble staff. So on this line, we have the note C. Here also, we have the note C. So both of them will bear the tonic, Do. Now, if this line is Do, then the space above it is Re. And the line, first line of the staff becomes Mi in the scale of C major. Then the space, first space becomes Fa. Second line becomes So. Second space becomes La. Third line becomes Ti. And the third space becomes Do, which is the octave higher than that of what? The middle C. Then, if we continue, we have Re here. We have Mi. And then we have Fa. Now, I'm marking these ones with 1 at the top there, signifying that they are an octave higher than the notes you have here. Now, if we decide to go lower, this is Do on this line. We come down to the space below it, we have Ti. And if we go down to the second leisure line, we have La. So when you pick up a piece of music and there are no sharps or flats at the beginning, just know that it is in the key of C major. Then you locate your C, which becomes your Do, which is the tonic of your C major scale. And then from there, you get the other notes. As we have it here, Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti, Do, Re, Mi, Fa, So, like that, and so on and so forth. Now the same thing applies to the bass staff. You locate your C on the bass staff, and then that becomes your tonic do. Let's look at the bass staff here. Now there are no sharps or flats here, so it means it is in the scale of C major. Then we locate our C. Remember, good boy deserves favor always. All cows eat grass. All cows. So this becomes our what? C. Okay, this is C. Just as we have it here, C and what? And C. Okay. Now what happens? This C becomes the tonic do. So we begin our notes here, do. Go to the line, we have what? Re. Then here we have mi. Here we have fa. Here we have so. The line here we have la. Space we have a T. And then the leisure line above the bass staff we have do. Now take note that this leisure line above the bass staff is the same leisure line below the treble staff. So for soprano and alto, they sing using the notes on the treble staff, while tenor and bass, they sing using the notes on the bass staff. Now, if we decide to come down this way, if this is do, then this becomes T, the space becomes what? La, and this becomes what? So. So that is how it's applied in the scale of C major. Now, the scale of C major has a relative minor scale, okay, which is a third below the scale of C major. Now, the minor scale starts from what you have here, La, okay? The major starts from the tonic here, Do. That of the minor starts from what? La. Much later, we shall look at minor scales and how they are related to major scales. For now, is how to interpret the scale of C major and other scales. Now, if for instance, we have one sharp at the beginning of the staff, then it changes the key in which the piece of music is written. Let's look at this. If we have a sharp here, this means that this key becomes the key of G major, which has a one sharp, and that sharp is at F, making it a F sharp. Now, our tonic becomes G, since it is in the key of G major. They will now begin from here, which is G. This becomes do, and then this becomes re, mi, fa, so, la, ti, do. Now, if we have two sharps at the beginning, means it's in the key of D major. Okay, remember your go down and eat beans, Father Charles. Go down. So go for G, one sharp, and down for D, two sharps. And the sharps are at F and C. So that changes the key automatically, and it changes the position of the tonic solfa notes. In the key of D, do, which is the tonic of the diatonic scale of G major, starts from the note D. Now let's look at the scale. What happens? Where do we have our D? This is C, and then this space becomes what? D. So if this space below the treble staff is D, that means our tonic for the diatonic scale of D major starts from here. This becomes what? Do. Then the line becomes re. Here becomes mi. This line fa, so, la, ti, do, re, mi. So just take note of the sharps or flats at the beginning of the piece of music. That tells you the key in which the song is written. And then locate that key, locate the letter name of that key, and that becomes the tonic of that key. And in this case, we have looked at the scale of C major, D major, and of course G major. If it has to do with flat, then you know one flat is the key of F. Go to F and then that becomes your what? Do. If you have two flats, you know is the key of B flat major. Then you go to where you have B, that becomes the B flat, that becomes what? Your Do for that very key. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like and share for more videos.